Welcome to the beautiful village of Chipping. Chipping won the Britain in Bloom Award for 2010. This gorgeous building behind me is the Sun Inn. The Sun Inn has the reputation for being the most haunted public house in the whole of the Ribble Valley. Let's now make our way inside this beautiful building. Welcome to the Sun Inn. The Sun Inn has the sort of story that you'd associate with a Mills and Boon love story. It's a tragic story, but also a very, very true story. Let's turn the clock back to 1835 and the story of Lizzie Dean. Lizzie Dean was 20 years of age when she arrived here in the village. She got a job here at the Sun Inn as a scullery maid. Her best friend was called Alicia Trainer. These two got on very well with each other. Now, one day, a young lad called David arrived on the scene, and David proposed to Lizzie. She was made up. She was delighted. They made their way across the road to the local church here called St. Bartholomew's. There, they met the vicar, and they made plans to marry. 2 days before the wedding was going to take place, David got cold feet, and he decided he didn't want to get married. Poor Lizzie's heart was broken. The poor girl was distraught, and to add to this poor girl's misery, her best friend Alicia became engaged to David. David and Alicia made plans to get married at St. Bartholomew's. On the day of the wedding, poor Lizzie made her way upstairs to the attic of this Sun Inn. She opened the attic window, which overlooked St. Bartholomew's Church. There she watched the groom arrive. She then watched the bride arrive. The pain became so unbearable that the poor girl decided to terminate her life by hanging herself. She threw a rope over the beam in the attic. She placed the rope round her neck, and the poor girl jumped out of the window and died against the very wall of the attic. Now, Lizzie's ghost has been haunting this pub since the 5th of November 1835. She's buried in St. Bartholomew's. In her hand she had a suicide note saying, "I wish to be buried at the entrance to St. Bartholomew's so that David and Alicia, every time they walk past my grave, they will feel remorse and sadness for what they've done to me." Now then, sightings of Lizzie Dean, there's been many, many, many. One of my favourites was a telephone call that I received in 1989 from a gentleman from the city of Edinburgh. He was on holiday here in Lancashire with his wife and 2 children, and they stayed in nearby Lytham St Anne's. They thought they'd have a drive into the lovely Ribble Valley, and they arrived here in Chipping on a lovely, lovely summer's day. Now, the wife and 2 children, they thought they'd go to the nearby Bury Chair Works to look at the showroom there, which they did do. The father made his way into the Sun Inn. He sat exactly where I am now. He ordered a pint of beer and stoked his pipe up. He was the only person here in the snug bar. All of a sudden, he noticed a very beautiful young girl standing just by the side of the wall here. She had a dress that looked like it had been washed thousands of times, almost like a psychedelic dress, if you will. She had long brown hair in ringlets, and he tried to make vocal contact with her. To no response, she just stared straight ahead of her, walked straight in front of him, and right out of this wall to my right. He rushed into the nearby bar in a state of deep shock. He shouted for the landlord. The landlord, Stephen, arrived at that period of time. He told him what he'd seen. Stephen had a big smile on his face. "Don't worry, you've seen the ghost of Lizzie Dean. She's been here since November 1835.
Hi, my name's Rob and I'm the landlord at the Sun Inn. The Sun Inn was established in 1758 and here we are in the year 2011 speaking to head barman Craig Smith.
How do you do?
Now Craig, have you ever seen Lizzie Dean?
Well, I can honestly say over the last 20 to 30 years that I've been coming in here, I've seen well, I've seen Lizzie at least twice. It's like a shimmering, shiny shape. Sends a shiver down your spine. You feel cold, and that's all you can put it down to is Lizzie Dean.
And have you ever seen anything that moves on the bar or heard anything special?
Not personally, but I've got several friends who've seen glasses move and books move, and everybody just says, that's Lizzie. She's back again.
Right. So now we'll go upstairs to Lizzie's lounge.
20 years ago, when this room was a snooker room, a bunch of guys were playing snooker up here, and the ghost walked straight through. They all ran downstairs, and some of them have never been back to the pub. Now let's talk to Annie, Chipping's other scary lady.
Hi, I'm Annie, the landlady at the Sun Inn. We've been here now for 3 years. We opened the restaurant, as Rob says, about a year ago, and there's been lots and lots of strange things happening in this area. People come to dine in the hope that Lizzie will sit down and join them. She has done some strange things like moving glasses and napkins. Tables and chairs get moved during the night. And hopefully one day we'll see you down here soon where maybe you can dine with Lizzie too.
Simon leads us to visit Elizabeth's final resting place here in Bartholomew's churchyard. She was so loved by the local villagers they paid for a headstone to be erected in her memory. The words on the headstone read, "Sacred to the memory of Elizabeth Dean, who departed this life November the 5th, 1835, in the 20th year of her age. Here is a hallowed sweetness in cherishing our remembrance of those we love."